company specific, GenX Power. That I can sign up to that. GenX Power hitting another landmark at the giant Kidston Pump Storage Hydro project. To take us through the details, Executive Director Simon Kidston is right here in Barangaroo talking about something real. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Yes, very, very tangible project.
Very tangible project. Now, is it true that you're repurposing a gold mine to hydro?
That's right.
How does that work?
Once a very, very large gold mine. It closed around 20 years ago, and we acquired the site to basically develop a renewable energy hub. And we're doing that in phases with our operating solar farm built about 3 years ago. But today is all about our flagship pump hydro project, which has been fully financed and will start construction in coming weeks.
So, I mean, how does this mine fit in with this project? Why did you pick this one?
Well, it's got some fantastic legacy infrastructure. 2 enormous holes in the ground, which are ideal for an upper and lower reservoir. And if you think about pump hydro, it's really like a giant water battery. It's a very low cost, mature technology to store energy. In fact, this project will be the first pump hydro project developed in Australia for 40 years. So it's a significant milestone for the country, as well, of course, for our company.
And of course, that sounds like a big project. So where is your finance coming from?
So we've had very, very strong support from both the federal government and the state government. So the announcement today confirms $660 million of concessional low-cost finance from the federal government. That's a combination of a loan from the Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility, a grant from ARENA, the Australian Renewable Energy Agency, and a loan from the Clean Energy Finance Corporation. So that funding is fundamental to the project's financing. In addition to that, the Queensland government have tipped in $147 million towards the cost of a brand new transmission line that will link this project and other projects into the grid.
So what's your timeline then at getting this to a commercially viable site?
So it took 5 years to go through the development phase. We've now completed that. The project's fully financed and we're starting construction this month. So the project will be operating and generating cash flow in 2024. So it's really the realisation of 5 years hard work to create this giant piece of energy infrastructure.
And there is always a risk because it's like building a house. The budget is never to plan. So how could you potentially raise more cash down the line should you need it?
So the way we've structured this project, we've got a fixed price lump sum contract with some tier 1 builders, John Holland and McConnell Dowell. So they're taking all of the risks associated with delivering the project. So to that extent, we're mitigated. So I think the other key element, of course, is that we've locked in a 30-year revenue stream with Energy Australia, one of the big energy retailers in the country. They'll be the operators of the plant and they'll pay GenX's owners a fixed rental stream, which doesn't vary by energy prices or energy volumes. So in a small number of years, we'll have a very substantial cash flow baked in rock solid from one of the biggest companies in Australia.
And are there any other sites that you're looking at for potential expansion?
Look, we've got a battery project we're developing in Rockhampton. That's a really exciting project. We're just finalising the grid connection process at the moment. So that's probably the next cab off the rank. And that will complement our portfolio nicely because today we've got 2 operating solar farms, one at Kidston in North Queensland and one we've just built in Gemelong in New South Wales. So GenX Power is the only pure play diversified renewable energy company on the ASX, and that follows recent corporate activity taking out companies such as Tilt, Infragen and other companies that have now disappeared from the ASX landscape.
So what do you think about the debate that the Australian government is dragging its feet on the push to renewable energy when in fact you've had some good government support? So are you saying the government, not you personally, so should the industry sort of just put in for these projects and they'll get the government support, or you think we're still well behind the curve?
Look, over the 10 years, I guess that we've seen, there's been a lot of torturous debate about energy policy, but I think what both governments want, both the Queensland and the federal government want, is reliable, stable energy. And the beauty of batteries and pump hydro is that they make firm, intermittent energy from sources such as wind and solar. So I guess if companies are developing firm energy production such as pump hydro, it's very clear there's strong support from both the federal government and the Queensland government.
This is obviously a huge project. What were the biggest challenges physically on the ground when you're converting, such a big site?
So we were doing something that's a world first, converting a gold mine into a renewable energy hub. So that presented a number of challenges. But I guess once we'd completed the design, We were then getting in front of financiers and offtake partners to demonstrate this project was real. It took us a number of years to do that, but we've now assembled what we think is a tier one group of project partners, being Energy Australia as offtake, builders in the form of John Holland and McConnell Dow, and the federal and state government all backing up this project.
I mean, as this is like a world first, what sort of team did you get involved to do this build? I mean, from the design, it's kind of blank slate, right?
Yeah, so I guess the application in an old gold mine is a world first, but the technology itself has been around for 100 years. So the first pump hydro was built in Switzerland in the 1890s. Many of those original plants are still operating today. They're long life, key pieces of energy infrastructure, and we believe it's got the potential of adding very solid cash flows to our business.
Oh, sounds like a great deal, and it sounds like Gen X part of a world first. So could this be something where you end up exporting what you've done potentially overseas to other sites?
Look, at this stage we're very focused on the Australian market, so we've got no plans to go offshore at this stage. There's fantastic opportunities on the eastern seaboard which we can exploit, whether that's wind farms, batteries or pump hydro. They'll be part of our future growth strategy.
Oh, keep in touch with us. We'll have you in again. Simon Kidston from Gen X in a very fascinating topic.
Great chat, thank you.